Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Queens of Podcast. Today, the topic that we are going to talk about is being renewed in 2025 self improvement objectives for the new year. So, I'm going to play a brief intro video and I'll be right back, or we will be right back with you after the video. Welcome back to the Queens of Podcasts. We are so happy to be able to serve you all today with a special discussion. And the title of our discussion today is Being Renewed in 2025 Self Improvement Objectives for the New Year. And so let me go over our mission statement. Our mission as the Queens of Podcasts is to inspire and empower individuals to embrace their true essence, foster unity, and elevate their lives through healing, awareness, and education. We are dedicated to providing principles of modesty, balance, and growth while celebrating the values that strengthen our families and communities. Together, we create a space where all can heal, grow, and rise to their highest selves with grace, unity, and purpose. Assalamu alaikum, which simply means peace be unto you. We welcome you today. And my name, again, is Sister Victoria Muhammad. I'm also known as Black Honesty. I am the host of Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. I'm also a spoken word artist. I go by the name of Black Honesty. And also, I am the owner of NutraBest Wellness. And so, Sister Angelica, if you could introduce yourself, beloved.
Yes. Peace and blessings, beautiful audience. My name again is Sister Angelica X. I am a public speaker, lifestyle wellness coach, and podcast host of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And also, I am your sister.
Beautiful. Yes, Sister Ramonia Muhammad.
Greetings. I am Sister Ramonia Muhammad. In the internet streets, I am known as Coach Remy. I am a business coach. I work with women entrepreneurs, teaching them how to create the business that they desire and one that they absolutely love. And I am the host of the Sacred Sweet Spot over on Spotify. Nice to be here with my sisters this week.
Yes, and it's a pleasure to have you with us, beloved, this week. And Sister Ebony.
Yes. It is me, Sister Ebony X. I am a birth and postpartum doula. I am a transition coach, and I am a entrepreneur on many levels. And also, I am the host of the God Standard podcast. And I'm more than happy. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys on this day.
Beautiful. And it's a pleasure to be with you, beloved, as well. And if you can take us right into the show, beloved.
Absolutely. So, as you know, as you could see, the title of our show is... Sorry. I'm trying
That's
to.
okay.
Can somebody say the
Oh,
title of
yes.
the show? I was trying to get it, but
I'm
it's
sorry. Yes, ma'am. Being renewed in 2025 self-improvement objectives for the new year.
Praise be to Allah. So yes, this show is all about our objectives for the new year. It has been a long year for many of us, but we made it. We are the ones that made it until the end. So here we are, and we're going to have an amazing show talking about how we can be renewed in the new year to come. So before we get into it, I'm going to clear the word. What does the word renewal mean? Okay, so according to the dictionary, renewal is an instance of resuming an activity or state after an interruption. And then secondly, it is the action of extending the period of validity of a license, subscription, or contract, or replacing or repairing something that is worn out, run down, or broken. So from that definition, how I take it is really just getting back to where we want to be in our lives, in ourselves, in every facet of life, really, right? And a lot of times, as we know, people do New Year's resolutions. It's almost like renewal is in the air, if you will. So it's a good time to start new things for many. But I just wanted to get into the cycle of it, right? Because as we know, like this world is governed by cycles. There's the moon cycle. As women, we have a cycle. There's seasons, etc. So one of the things that I just wanted to share was that this season, as we know, the enemy has turned a lot of things upside down and inside out, right? So
Right.
though we do use the new year as a time for renewal and New Year's resolutions, etc., the natural cycle of things is not really in alignment with that. So as we go into the new year, it's important to note that naturally we are not inclined to make big changes during the winter time, because even if you look outside in nature, things are sleeping, things are dormant, the trees are dormant, a lot of the animals are in a resting state. So I just want to share that it's important to take this time to use our minds to project what we want to change when it is new, when the seasons are in alignment with change, and when everything is waking up and the plants are waking up and the flowers are waking up, and that is a little bit more natural to doing things. But we also know that there's nothing more powerful in this world than a made up mind. So if you decide that you want to change, if you decide that you're ready to do the action to make the change, anytime is the right time. So just to keep that in mind.
Yes, absolutely beautiful, dear sister. What a way to start the program. And so, if you like, beloved, you can actually begin us with the first question, or I could just jump right on in.
Sure. So I have a question for you all. What are some things or one thing that you are leaving behind in 2024? I can
That's a
start
good
if you want.
question.
I could
Okay, go
say.
ahead, sis.
So, one of the things that I'm leaving behind in 2024 is allowing my mind to control my reality. And when I say that, I mean that I realized how important it is. And I feel like I already had the idea, but this year it really sunk in how important it is for us to be in control of our mind and not allow our mind, our reactive mind, our subconscious mind to control us. So I am allowing my reactive mind to just play around in my life and not take control of it. So that's what I'm leaving behind in 2024.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. And I think we all can pretty much, bear witness to that. And, because it kind of reminds me of the reality of a struggle for balance. And so we all are in that struggle every day as we go throughout life. We're struggling to, balance our minds, our realities, with our families, work, whatever those realities are. And so, that's life. And I thank you for sharing that, beloved. One of the things that I think about when you ask that question, what I would be leaving behind is just the lack of patience that I have with myself. we have to really be patient with ourselves, you know, because a lot of times we are impatient. We want to see, you know, things right now. Whatever we're working on, it's like, okay, we want to see it now, you know. But just to take the time and just say, okay, you know, everything happens in degrees, and sometimes it doesn't happen exactly the way we want it to, the time that we want it to happen. But as long as we're working towards that goal, you know, we can just continue to stay focused and be patient, you know, with ourselves. So that's what I'm leaving impatience behind in 2024, and looking forward to great things and moving forward with greater patience. So, yeah.
I think I'm with Sister Ebony, with more so with the reactive mind, if you will. For me, I'll be pushing more auditing for myself. I have the baby in the background, so I hope it's not too loud. I'm just going to say quickly,
No, you're
but
fine, beloved.
just for me, is just making sure that I am doing exactly what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to do in terms of renewing the mind. So I'm surfacing um, along what Sister Ebony is saying as well. Just making sure that I'm doing everything that I can to guard, protect my mind, and making sure, again, that I'm doing exactly what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to do.
Beautiful.
So in 2024, I am going to leave behind the need to rush. I find myself always in this space of trying to get something done and getting it done fast to where it's not full. I'm not in my flow state, right? Kind of something familiar with Sister Ebony and you, Sister Victoria. Being more of my flow state, and not allowing the spirit of feeling rush and that spirit of always having to multitask overtake me, because I noticed that within myself. And then there's cases where multitasking is okay. However, multitasking, as I've learned, isn't really okay, because you're not really focused on one thing at a time. So it's kind of like allowing you to focus on different things. And like I said, to where in some cases it's okay, but if you're really trying to focus on like a big project or something like that, it may not be okay to multitask. So I'm leaving that spirit of trying to rush all the time and just flow. Like if I end up missing something, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go back, try to do it. Hey, I missed it. I gotta go on to the next. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, ma'am. I bear witness, sister. We actually have developed some tools here, the sisters, the queens of podcast here, where we will help everybody to get organized and focused for 2025. And so we're going to go into the announcements and share these tools that we have available for you all. So as you stick around, you'll get a chance to hear Sister Ramonia Muhammad share those tools. So my question would be, what does a renewed person look like? What does a person embody when they have a new version of themselves? What does that look like? And anybody can jump out there with it.
I would say I think it's like an overall attitude. I think when you're renewed, you have a sort of zeal that you might not have had before, because you're like determined. You've decided something in your mind and you're like doing it. As well, I think discipline is a huge aspect of that. And just I think from the outside looking in, if you're changing your lifestyle or you're changing how you think, or you're changing something that's like fundamental in how you operate, then the people around you would be able to see like you're doing things differently, you're eating different, you're waking up different times, like, you know, you're doing things differently. So I think, yeah, it just looks like an overall change and a newness of spirit, if you will.
Yes, I agree 100%, you know, because just like you said, people will see it, they will recognize it. You know, a lot of times I hear people say, to the believers, like you have a glow about yourself, especially when we're, fasting, so that newness and renewing and, just conditioning our bodies and, what is it, detoxing and all of that. So it shows in the body, that newness. And it made me think about the scripture where it says, be ye renewed, or be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. And so it transforms our lives in so many different ways. As Sister Ebony is saying, people can see the transformation on us. It's like a new person, a new spirit, a new vibe. And even the things that we present, like what we have here with the show, it shows newness, because we're bringing something great, by the grace of Almighty God to our people. And they're seeing the beauty of and reflection of God in us, the newness. So, yes, Sister Ebony.
So, what you said, what does renew looks like?
Okay,
Being
so
renewed.
I'll repeat the question.
Okay.
What does a renewed person look like? How does a person embody that new version of themselves? What does that look like?
I believe that looks like someone that walks in confidence and with high standards for their self, and one that is guided by faith. I just had to bear witness to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And being in a nation, I can honestly say I've been able to adapt, and I call it Godfidence, as I've joined a nation and being able to know who I am and know myself. It's a new spirit that overcomes a person when they are renewed. Like you can see it in the way they look, their skin, they're glowing, the way they talk, and the way that they treat themselves. Mm-hmm. So when a person is renewed, you will also see how they treat themselves as well. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. Well, all of you have made some wonderful, gave some wonderful answers to that question. Sister Ramonia, she's taking, she had the little ones in the background. So, I know she's taking care of them. So we'll just wait till she comes back and we'll keep it going while our sister is away. Now Sister Angelica, would you like to ask the next question, beloved?
Yes, no problem. So, next question. Why is self-improvement, seeing that that's a part of the topic, the title, why is self-improvement important when being on the course of being renewed, especially in 2025?
Definitely a good question. I'll jump out there. Self-improvement is important because, first of all, like, we have to really improve ourselves. A lot of times we're looking at others, like how things should change around us. But self-improvement, as we know, is the basis of community development. And so when we improve ourselves, that improvement actually connects with the community, and we're being an example to others to help them improve as well. So that's a way to inspire others. So if I'm working out and taking care of my body and I share it with my brothers and sisters, look, this is what I'm doing. So my self-improvement can help my brothers and sisters improve themselves as well, to know that, oh, Sister Victoria, she's looking good. She's feeling good. She's healthier. I want that for myself. So yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. What you think, Sister Ebony?
Sorry, the question was, why is self-development important?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why self-improvement why is self-improvement important when being renewed?
I think that's the basis, right? Like as we're taught, self-improvement is the basis, as Sister Victoria said, is the basis for community development. And we're also taught self first in all things, right? And if we're supposed to, raise the dead, even if we're not, like, even those who are not necessarily believers are on the mission, like, why wouldn't you want to develop yourself? Like, why wouldn't you want to be the best version of yourselves? Like, I don't know, to me it's just like a no-brainer. It's foundational. Like in this life, you can be and do whatever you want. Why would you choose anything other than being the best, you know? So for me, it's just and I feel like it's always been for me foundational in all that I do, because I feel like that same spirit that I mentioned of like that zeal to of newness, of doing something, of, you know, striving towards a goal. I feel like if you think of the word development, it's moving. It's moving. It's moving. It's not just something that you just do and then it's done. It's ongoing. So I feel like if you're thinking of renewal, then it only makes sense to be in development, in motion.
Alhamdulillah, beautiful. Yes, I agree 100%, you know, because we're evolving. And so, you know, when we look at it, we're working with ourselves, and work is force times distance. So there has to be some movement taking place, and not only just movement, but actually distance movement, because it shows that we are evolving, we are getting somewhere. The work that we're doing is not in vain. So if we're working on ourselves, if something that we were doing in 2024 and we say, okay, we're going to do better in 2025, then we should see that growth and that development. Otherwise, that means that we have stayed the same. So yes, and the beauty of it is that we have the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when we apply these teachings to our lives, we can't stay the same. We won't be stagnant. We will be able to move forward and move up and beyond what it is that, you know, we were at, to another level. And so in those levels, we know that there's trials, right? So when we get those trials, it's not a time to say, okay, just throw in the towel. Just know that Allah is taking us to another level. And so if we don't pass that trial, what happens, right? That means that same situation or whatever it is, the trial is, we're going to be revisited with that trial until we overcome it. And then now we have to look forward to the next trial, because trials do what? They purify us. And so we all are in the process of purification. And so we have to welcome those trials because they make us better. And so that's what I'm focusing on, being a better me, being a better Sister Victoria Muhammad in 2025. And I think that we all can agree with that aspect of growth and development.
I want to comment on that. As far as like self-improvement, I've learned that we all have to evolve in life. When you're not in the work of evolving, you tend to be stagnant, and we can't operate off being stagnant. Usually when something is stagnant and there's no movement, just like us as humans, we're meant to move around, right? When we're in the spirit of stagnation, there is no growth, there is no improvement. So understanding that self-improvement, again, is the basis of community development, the basis of building self. And I always say too, with me, with Healing with Angelica as well, self-improvement is also equal to healing, because within that, you're renewing yourself, you becoming new, you're healing yourself from different things, becoming this new person, right? So I just think within self-improvement and being renewed, coming into the new year, just keep in mind that it's a process, it's a journey, and that when you are in that spirit of self-improvement, just have to understand that we're not going to be able to be who we want to be if we don't involve ourselves in the work of improving ourselves daily, even if it's just the little things, like little bitty things. Being consistent is the best thing you can do for yourself, even if it's just, I'm waking up at 5 o'clock, you know, being consistent with that is such a big turnaround within your journey of healing and your journey of improving, just making those little bitty steps, right? It may be big for some people who wake up like at 12 in the afternoon, but yeah, you know.
Yes,
Can I say
ma'am.
something?
Yes, ma'am.
So something that you said made me think of the next question that I have, but before that, sorry, one second. sorry, before I ask the question, another thing that you mentioned, health specifically, and it makes me think that, and I guess proves that, you know, when we're working towards being healthy, right? Like, you can't do two things at once. Two things cannot you know, use the same space. So you're either going towards health or you're going against it. And I feel like that's just like us. Like, nothing like, we could say, yeah, you're stagnant, but really and truly, like, everything is energy, everything is moving. So you're either progressing or you're regressing. You're either going backwards or you're going forward. So if you're not actively, like you said, Sister Angelica, like, if you're not being consistent and you're actively moving forward, then you're not staying still, you're going backwards, you know? And just like health, it's like, do you want to go towards more life or do you want to go towards death? And I mean, I'll choose life every single time, you know? So that's I just want to say that on that. Which brings me to my next question. You were mentioning, like, it sometimes it's just little bits that you can do consistently that add up. And I've been reading again the book Atomic Habits. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it's a really good book, and he breaks down habits so simply that it's not that it makes it so easy, but he simplifies it in a way that it kind of opens the mind to be like, hey, I can do that, rather than, oh my gosh, this is such a big task that I have to do waking up at like 5 a.m. or whatever it might be, right? So my question is to you all, what are some of the habits that you have currently or that you are, you know, looking to implement at any time, whether it's the new year or, you know, anytime, that help you stay on track, that help you be in that state of progression and development? And yeah, what are the habits for you?
Okay, yes. For me, I would say just writing in the journal, just focusing on that journal. We do have some tools that I mentioned earlier in the show that we put together, and we will share those at the end of the show. That way, everybody can know what they are and support and be able to benefit from the tools that we have available. So I'm thinking, having a calendar, just writing things down. We talked about, and I'll go right into it. There is a vision board that our dear sister Ramonia Muhammad, she is going to give us an example of, if she's ready. And that's one of the things that I'm going to start doing more, is using my vision board and writing things down so that I can remember, and goal setting. So it's important to, write things down so that we can see it and visualize it and keep up with the things that we're striving to do. So Sister Ramonia, if you would like to, beloved, explain what a vision board is and the benefits of that. And then Sister Angelica, if you want to go into your answer, if you have an answer to the question, we'll continue on with the question. But go ahead, Sister Ramonia.
Yes. Can you allow for Sister Angelica to go on and answer the question? And hopefully I'm ready by the time you
yes,
come back
ma'am.
to me. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome, beloved.
So when it comes to habits, those habits, right? And
Right.
they take 21 days to break a habit, and I believe it. However, I think with me, the habit of being consistent with prayer, prayer has become my lifestyle, and anytime that I miss prayer, it literally makes me feel unbalanced. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I miss prayer.
Right.
And when I feel like I'm in a space where I'm like too busy in life and I'm missing prayer, I'm like, oh my God, that's when I feel like I'm getting disconnected from a lot. Right. So with me is keeping up with prayer, being consistent with prayer, and not striving my best not to miss any prayer going into 2025. As they say, what prayer is the best, what did they say? Remembrance of Allah through prayer. Mm-hmm. But it's a form of protection, right? It's that prayer, staying prayed up all the time, keeping Allah in the forefront of your mind daily. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
and that's beautiful that you said that, beloved, because that's really the fuel And so it does say in the Holy Quran that Allah would not care for us if it wasn't for our prayers. So the connection to Allah is through our prayers. And so we cannot forget that. When we get up in the morning for Fajr at 5 a.m., that is a very important prayer. And so throughout the day, we should be praying. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that we should say that the refuge prayer 7 times a day. And so I'm going to more than likely post that on my page so that everybody can see exactly. Those who don't know what the refuge prayer is, you'll know exactly, or I'll put it in the comments later so that we can see that refuge prayer and begin to say it at least 7 times a day, or 7 times a day as the minister has prescribed for us.
Mhm.
And Sister Ramonia, let us know when you're ready, beloved.
Okay, so hopefully I'm ready. Thank you all for being so patient with me today. But there's a couple of things that I do, and I have been doing it for years, right? One of the things that I do is I do affirmations every single day after prayer, after reading my Quran, after study. In the evening before I retire to bed, I say affirmations. Even if I'm in the bed, I'm saying my affirmations every single day. But one thing that I've been doing that has actually helped me to craft a life for myself, and I teach other women how to do it, because I believe that everything happens with mindset. And when you change your mind, you change your reality. So I've been doing a vision board for years, right? So the vision board that I'm bringing forth today is just a little mock one to give you some math on a vision board. And a vision board is one, it actually helps you to be very, very clear on your intentions. It helps you to be very clear on your goals. I'm not one to advocate for New Year's resolutions. I always say resolve that you're going to create a life that you absolutely love, right? And so by doing that, the vision board for me. So when you're doing the vision board, you're actually putting words, pictures, if you will. It depends on how I feel. And sometimes I do vision boards multiple times a year during the course of the year, because um, my intentions and things that I desire to bring into manifestation, it changes daily, right? And so I put those things on my vision board. I set the intentions on me actually participating with Allah in my Godship, meaning that I understand the principle. I understand the principle of the law of vibration, the law of frequency. And I don't want to get too deep into that, but I understand what that is and what that looks like in my life. And so I actively work with universal law, and I create and manifest the life that I desire. So whatever it is that I place out into the universe, whether it's my visual, right? Whether it's in my prayer, whether it's wrapped up in my emotions, I understand that whatever it is that I desire to bring into my life, um, I put it on a vision board. And the most important thing is that you have to put it up so that so that you're able to see it out of sight, out of mind, right? So a lot of times I laughed with a friend of mine, and I told her, I said, one thing that people tend to do at the top of the year, they say that they want to lose weight and they want to make more money and they want to get closer to God. Well, you can do that absolutely every single day of the year. You do not have to wait until the new year come around for you to state that you want to get closer to God, or you want to lose weight, or you want to eat right, or you want to do all these things prior to, you know what I mean, the new year. And I think that it becomes very dangerous, right? When we have a dream, or when we have a dream and we do not have a dream big enough that requires us, right, to have uncommon faith. And so this is what the vision board does. It gives you uncommon faith, and Allah will always give you the spirit and the opportunity to exercise your uncommon faith. And so when you are putting those things on the vision board that you desire to see manifest into your life, you want to make sure that you're creating a relationship with that, and you're creating a relationship with Allah, so that your frequency and your vibration is actually in a place where everything that you desire is an invitational match and an invitational vibrational match for whatever it is that you desire, that you say that you want. And so, yeah, so a vision board is absolutely necessary, mixed with affirmations. Affirmations is very, very powerful in manifesting and crafting the life that you desire.
Wow, that's powerful, sis. And what I was hearing there is, manifestation, as well as the law of attraction, seeing it, writing it down, visualizing and manifesting it until it becomes tangible, until it becomes a reality. So that's very powerful. Thank you for sharing. Does any of my other sisters on the panel want to chime in?
Well, I have plans on doing a vision board as well. I definitely believe my sister Remy, because those vision boards, actually being able to visualize and see it is so important, because it helps with that imagination, and me studying different things in life. I've learned that, if we could go back into that childlike state and go into our imagination and dream of the things that we want in life, like those things can actually come into play. Like, I really bear witness to a lie. Like, what the person I am today was someone that I envisioned years ago, or even having the opportunity to do the things that I'm doing now is things that I envisioned, and me having those vision boards to look back at, or journaling. Journaling, that's something I do daily. I have like journal stacked from years. I've been journaling since I was a little girl. It's
Yes.
crazy. Then those affirmations, affirming it. And then most importantly, I believe within that, within just doing the vision boards and stuff in that matter, always be in a spirit of gratitude. I'm just learning
Come
to
on.
being thankful. Just being thankful brings so many abundance in your life. Just I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful for my big toe. I'm thankful for the floor,
right.
the ceiling, the light bulbs, like just little things like that. Like Allah will just give you more and more of it. Like, oh my gosh, really? So you love it? Okay, so.
I would like to add also
That's
that
beautiful, sis. Yes.
with all of the things mentioned, I think it's also important. What I like to do is, like, when I'm visualizing the future version of myself, I'm visualizing it in a way where I'm experiencing it right now, right? So coming back to everything being energy, right? Energy,
Yes.
you could say it's energy in motion, emotion, right? When you visualize, you have to feel it. Like, you have to, like, get excited about it, like really feel what it feels like to drive that car, to have that spouse, that house, that whatever it is, that farm, whatever it is, feel the excitement about it. And I think that's also too why vision boards work very well, is because it's hard to be ungrateful and not excited when you see these, like, great things that you have planned for yourself. You know what I mean? And really, it's really about, and I feel like I heard Coach Remy mention it, like putting putting it together, like working with Allah to make that happen, like feeling it, seeing it, and then being it also. Like, for example, you want to be healthy, you want to lose weight. Okay, so right now you're about to eat and you have a choice. I can be that healthy person right now. I don't have to wait to be that healthy person. I might look different or whatever it might be, but you could still be that person right now. So keeping in mind that, like, yes, we have future goals, future dreams, but like we have choices right now. We're living in an abundance of choices right now. So to take advantage of that and how we feel as well.
Absolutely. And I want to add to that. That uncommon faith, that's where miracles live, right?
Mhm.
And in order to be able to craft and create the life that you desire, the one that you really, really want, you have to have uncommon faith, and I'm reminded of the scripture that says, speak those things that are not as though they are, right?
Mhm.
Because we actually have that amazing ability to speak into the existence of the whole of the universe and actually watch these things manifest into our lives. It's already there, it's in the awareness, it's already there. You just have to vibrate higher enough in order to match the energy that's already there. Hypothetically, the energy of money. Money is nothing but an energy, it's a living source, it's energy. And so, if you want money to manifest into your life, then you have to meet
Mhm.
the vibrational match of the energy of money. And you can't
Mhm.
do that just, by happenstance. And it's a lot more that goes into this. And I just want us to stay on top of it. But it's a lot more goes into it. And this is the way that I live my life. This is the way that I've always lived my life. I always believed and knew that I have a gift and a gift to actually call forth those things that I desire to show up in my life, and they show up. And that's the reason why my vision board changes often. You don't have to wait for January 1st to do that. And once you understand the principles of the law of vibrations, the principles of the law of attraction, then you understand that you get to create what it is that you desire. And once you do it, it will start happening very, very quickly for you. And you do not have to wait another 12 months before something manifests itself into your life, because you are that God. And I would say test that Godship. Really, really test your Godship, and you will be so amazed at the things that unfold in your life. I'm saying this from experience because this is the way I live my life.
Yes. Wow. That's beautiful, sis. And it reminds me of the teaching, Supreme Wisdom, how thought travels at the rate of 24 billion miles per second. And so that's energy. And like you said, it's vibration. And so thought, like when we think about it, thought is words in thought, and words have power. And so in the beginning was the word, and the word was God. The word became flesh. So when we look at it, when we're writing on those vision boards, when we're thinking these thoughts, we are actually working with God, along with God, and manifesting things that He wants, and if it's His will, it will be done. And so, with 75% of the work being with the woman and us being so powerful, we have to be able to exercise that God within us to begin to build a new world. We're talking about being renewed. And so, we have a great responsibility in that, as Sister Ramonia was speaking about. I mean, it's just so powerful. I want to go to, does anybody else want to chime in on that particular subject matter before we go to the audience and see what they're talking about in the chat? All right. Well, moving right along, we have Brother Tony Muhammad. He says, Assalamu alaikum to the powerful queens on this podcast. Wa alaikum salam, Brother Tony. And then Brother Tobias X Flakes, he is saying Assalamu alaikum as well, from Sister Autumn Amber and Brother Tobias. And wa alaikum salam, my dear brother. And also Sister Khalida Muhammad is also giving the greetings. Assalamu alaikum, my family. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Khalida Muhammad. Thank you for joining us. And we have John Felix. He is saying, hey, I thought I was also on Facebook. Yes, and there is an issue where it wasn't playing live on my page again. So we're flowing through our dear Sister Angelica's page. And thank you so much, Sister Angelica, for being able to connect us and all of that good stuff so that we are live. So there is a breakdown going on dealing with my page again. So we'll play it again, the replay, sometime tomorrow. So yes, moving right along. I have a question here. When you think about everything of value has a difficulty factor attached to it. And as we understand, sometimes the greater the value, the greater the difficulty factor is. So when we're met with that difficulty, what are some ways that we can overcome difficulty as we're, becoming new, as we're evolving and we're empowering and bettering ourselves through the new year?
I would say when it comes to learning how to deal with difficulty is honestly have an understanding of the difficulty. A lot of the times, the difficulties that we encounter, we may not understand, and some difficulties aren't for us to understand in certain aspects, right? However, I believe that, and I'm speaking from just experience with me, like any difficulties that I've experienced in life, I first check with the God, right? Check with Allah, like, okay, Allah, what's going on here? You know? So checking in with Allah and knowing that Allah is the best of planners, right? You have to have that trust in Allah in order to get through that difficulty and ask Allah for understanding, ask Allah for knowledge. And I believe that, knowledge is so powerful. And I brought up knowledge when it comes to being able to maintain difficulty, because a lot of the times, like I said, a lot of us don't even understand what it is that we're going through. In some situations, Allah may not put it there for us to understand. But if you ask for knowledge and you ask for understanding, I believe Allah will guide you into understanding as to, oh, okay, this may be why I'm going through this. And just accepting and going on that journey. Because again, I mean, with all good, there's some difficulty factors within. So I believe just trusting Allah within that difficulty and knowing that He is the best of planners. And it's easier said than done. Trust me. I know, because man, we'll see something like, oh, Allah, this looking kind of, I don't know. But I'm telling you, like, trusting Allah and having faith and knowing that He'll get you through it. You got to maintain that faith. So, yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. Because faith without works is what, Sister Angelica? That's right. Yes. And I think Sister Remy said something about that earlier, like working towards that goal, like, see things as if they are. You know what I mean? Like, how does that scripture go? It's so powerful because faith without works is dead. And then in that faith, you have to see the vision, and like Sister Ebony was saying earlier, as you see it, then you can manifest it and feel it, like it might not be happening right now, but get excited over what it is that you're working on, because you bring that energy to yourself and that vibration of excitement. It helps to manifest what it is that we're striving to move towards. So this is definitely a very powerful discussion. Would any of the other sisters like to pose the next question?
Could I just add one thing to what you asked?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say, like, when we're going through difficulty, I think it's important for us to and again, coming back to just being in control of our minds, right? And not allowing our minds to like run amok in our lives kind of thing. I think it's important to be in connection with the God and literally ask, like, I know I've been in difficulties, and because I understand that everything in life is happening for us. I don't believe that things are happening for us to suffer. You know what I mean? I strive in those states of difficulty when it gets hard to ask Allah, like, what are you trying to show me here? Like, what is the lesson? What are you trying to show me? What are you trying to point me towards? What are you trying to take me from? And I think in that reframing and that shift of perspective, we are able to navigate the difficulty in a way where we are not succumbing to the difficulty, but we're like using the difficulty as like fuel, if you will, you know what I mean? Or like a stepping stone just to get to the next step, to get to the next level, because it's really all in those cases, all perspective, because it really just takes a shift up or down to be like, okay, this is a difficulty, it's here to help me, versus this is so hard, how am I going to get through this is so bad, like those kinds of things. So yeah, I think perspective is everything when we're facing difficulties.
Beautiful, sis. I agree 100%. Sister Remy?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I think for me, There's those times when you really, really think that you on point with the law, and that's when the trial happens. And for
Mm,
me, when those trials happen, I lean in more with the law. You know what I mean? Like I'm right there. I'm right there with the law because I know that there's something that I'm supposed to get. And I just don't think or believe that Allah would allow for us to go through certain difficulties or trials if it were not for a reason, you know? And yeah, I tend to lean more into Allah. I'm very I'm very prayerful now,
mm,
and but I think during those times I get even more prayer
mm,
prayerful. Okay. Um, I've undergone a tremendous load of trials. And
mm.
for me, that is the only way that I think that you can overcome any difficulty. You have to lean into Allah because nothing happens without the permission of Allah. So I'm 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 with you all with that one. So for me, I lean in deeper.
Yeah, exactly, sis. And that's so beautiful. Like Sister Ebony was saying, your perception of that trial. And when you look at the trial, knowing that trials purify. And so when we know that we're in that purification process, then we should be able to accept that trial and know that it's good for us. And so but if we look at the trial as, oh, woe me, and why I have to go through this, then we're not going to get what Allah wants. And I think that's what Sister Remy was saying as well. Like she's asking Allah, what do you want me to learn from this trial? And so that should be the question because Allah loves us and it's something in that trial that is to make us better. So that's how I strive to deal with the trials and overcome them myself is looking at what is it that Allah wants me to learn from this trial, this difficulty that I'm facing, because I know that the God loves me, so he's not hurting me. He's not trying to kill us. You know what I'm saying? But there's something in it for us to learn so that we can grow and so that we can be better and stronger and ready for the next trial. So that's absolutely beautiful. You sister said some powerful responses to that particular question.
I had just one thing to say about that.
Yes.
That's why it's so important that we must understand and know our God, because if we don't know how much God loves us,
Come
then
on.
we won't understand why He puts us through certain difficulties and tests in our life, and now we're cussing the God out, like,
Mm,
why am I going through this? So it really takes being able to, again, you have to build that trust, right? How do you build trust? Make it common sense, right? You build trust by building a relationship. So within understanding difficulties in your life, you have to go back to the God and build your relationship with Him so you can understand why God may be putting you through this. Because, like you said, Sister Victoria, He loves us. He's not trying to punish us. He's trying to teach us something so we can grow and evolve. So I think us actually, even those that are not in a nation that don't understand the teachings, make sure you have that relationship with God. So when those things do happen in life, your perspective isn't shifted. So yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, sis. Thank you. And looks like we have like 5 more minutes. So wow, that was a wonderful discussion and time has been flying. So we want to go right into our announcements with Sister Ramonia Muhammad.
Yes, we want to thank you all for tuning in with us again for our second episode of the Queen of Podcasts. And if you are feeling generous and you desire to show us some love by sending us a Cash App, you can Cash App us at $Queens of Podcasts. Or if you desire to speak with us about any form of event that you may have or just pose a question to us, you can email us at queensofpodcasts@gmail.com. And we also would like for you to go and grab your free ebook on how to chart your way through 2025. It's a free ebook that we have. And also you can grab our gratitude journal that we have, and you can go to PayHip, PAYHIP.com/Queens of Podcasts. And we thank you all for tuning in with us. And until next time,
Accept your own and
be yourself.
Be
yourself.
yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.